What's up, y'all? It's Chris here to do a real quick UFC 110 afterthoughts. Pretty good night of fights. Not the most exciting, in all honesty. I was a little more pumped for it than it ended up turning out, but it wasn't a bad card by any means. Real quick, first fight of the night was a Crow Cop against I forgot the dude's name. Dude was replacing Ben Rothwell, last minute replacement. Man, I can't even think of the guy's name now, but honestly, it doesn't really matter because the guy didn't offer much opposition. Honest, Crow Cop didn't really look that good either. He ended up stopping the guy eventually on a cut. But, man, Crow Cop just isn't as aggressive as he used to be, not as explosive as he used to be, a little bit heavier than I've ever seen him before. And, I don't know, man. I don't even remember him throwing a high kick in this fight. So, Crow Cop gets a win, but not too impressive. It's obvious to see that his best days are behind him. Hopefully he gets either Rothwell next or Pat Barry, who almost was the last minute replacement, which would have been a much better fight than this one, in my opinion. Next up, we had, I believe it was Keith Jardine, Ryan Bader. Pretty good fight. Honestly, we get together at one of my relatives' house and watch the fight, and their TV kept friggin' overheating and going out. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that thing, but, man, anyways, but that was the theme throughout the night, unfortunately for me watching the fights. But Jardine Bader, no one's really getting that. Bader was getting the takedowns. He was winging those big right hands, not doing too effective. Jardine wasn't really throwing a lot of leg kicks like he usually does. Here and there, was playing more the counter game. No one was really dominating. I'd say it was close 1-1 rounds. Third round, the TV goes out. We turn it back on, and Jardine's on the ground. Obviously, of course, you got replays and stuff, so I got to see that Bader clipped Jardine with something, and then he dropped him with the right hand. And the fight was over. Rightful stoppage, but unfortunately, I missed the moment it happened. That sucked. But Jardine, he's probably gone from the UFC. He's a pretty good fighter, but, he's not going to contend for the title anytime soon. And his losses are really bad. He gets knocked out. Doesn't have the best of chin. So, good win, good experience for Bader. That division's stacked, so they'll find someone for him to fight next. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Matt Hamill, in all honesty. But, anyways, moving on. Joe Stevens, George Sotiropoulos. Actually, they might have showed Lytle's fight here first. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. But Joe Stevenson, George Sotiropoulos. I had Joe Daddy in this fight. Man, Joe Daddy got schooled. He lost every part of this fight. He lost the stand-up. He got tooled on the ground. He might have even lost the wrestling. I don't know what to say. George Sotiropoulos, man, I never thought he had that good of a game in him. I don't know, but he looked great, especially on the ground, man. In the first round, there were some scrambles in this fight that were so damn entertaining. Just some really good groundwork from both guys. Submission attempts and escapes, but mostly Sotiropoulos just running a clinic on Stevenson. Not so much a clinic, like Damian Maia would on most guys where he would just school him and tap him out, but just as far as positioning and threatening and stuff, George Sotiropoulos just had this all day. On the feet, he even got the better of it. Joe Stevenson was moving around a lot, doing this and that. My friend said it looked like he was still dancing to the song that he came out to, like he should be at the club. He looked like them Jersey Shore guys dancing, moving out there without the fist pump. But yeah, I don't know what Joe's plan was after the first round. He just didn't really look to have a plan at all. And even when he got on top in the third, I thought he dropped some of those elbows he did on Spencer Fisher in his last fight. No such luck. Sotiropoulos just kept threatening with submissions, kept sweeping him, kept getting better position. So Sotiropoulos, big win here. Impressive. Joe Daddy, back to the drawing board once again. George, that division, once again, that's like the light heavyweight division stacked. So they'll find someone for him to fight. Next up, I believe this was Chris Lytle, Brian Foster. I was wrong on this fight. Actually, I thought Foster would get the win. I thought he'd smother Lytle, but Lytle got a quick-ass knee bar, got Foster down. Or actually, I think Foster took him down, but Lytle got the knee bar, threw it on, and man, it must have been painful because Foster not only did he tap quick, it looked like he was in some serious pain after. So I know Chris Lytle likes to get those fight of the night bonuses, but I think he got the submission of the night bonus here. So either way, he gets that check. So good win for Chris. Lights out Lytle. Vanderlei Silva, Michael Bisping. Man, it's crazy to see Vanderlei, fight at 185, although he didn't look that much smaller than he normally does. Still pretty bulked up, but just his face, he looks so much different, and he just fights so much less aggressively at times. Obviously, there were times in this fight where he really pushed the pace, more particularly towards the end of the first round and the end of the third round, obviously. But fought a lot slower, a lot more tactical than Vanderlei usually does. Bisping trying to win on points, got some takedowns, but really didn't do much with them. Bisping, Vanderlei was able to get up pretty quick. I believe it was the end of the second round. Yeah, Bisping took Vanderlei down. Vanderlei had the guillotine on, and man, he put everything he had into it. I mean, he had that thing on tight. He had the crazy face going on. If it would have went longer, if the bell had not rung, he might have tapped Bisping out. Bisping looked. I thought that would take a lot of Vanderlei putting so much into it, but that looked to sap everything Bisping had left out of him in the corner between the second and third round. Bisping looked drained. Bisping wasn't really doing a lot in this fight otherwise. He was scoring points here and there with his jab, and some takedowns, but he wasn't doing too much effective, You never really saw him as a real threat, whereas Vanderlei, when he'd come in and start winging shots and especially when he had Bisping up against the cage, he was really effective, letting Flores go, but didn't do that as much as usual. Third round, once again, the TV went out. Fortunately, it came back on in time. Vanderlei went at him at the very end of the round, just bum rushed him, clipped him with a right hand right behind the ear, dropped Bisping. Now, you couldn't tell if the ref stopped it. Rosenthal was all in there. You couldn't tell what was going on. Didn't look if the ref stopped it or if the round ended or what. But either way, it was obvious at that point that Vanderlei was going to get the win. He did. He got the decision win. Good win for Vanderlei. He needed it. Obviously, it's obvious that Vanderlei is not the Vanderlei of old. His best days are behind him as well. But he's still got something left in the tank. Maybe he can rejuvenate his career a little bit at 185. As for Bisping, Bisping ain't going nowhere. He's a former Ultimate Fighter winner. So, Bisping talks a lot of trash. It's kind of good to see him lose every once in a while, in my opinion. Main event, Nogueira, Cain Velasquez. I picked Cain here. I picked Nogueira. I thought the experience and Cain's lack of experience would be too much for him. I was wrong. Cain was throwing a lot more on the feet. I was surprised. He was mixing it up well, throwing in the kicks and a lot of combinations. Looked a lot faster of the two, and ended up catching Nogueira with the punch, a couple punches on the feet. Hurt him. Nogueira's chin is just gone. It's not what it used to be. As evidenced in the Frank Mir fight, Nogueira used to have a legendary chin, but that chin has just been chipped away at. Anyways, though, Cain dropped Nogueira. Minotauro jumped on him with a couple more punches. Nog was already out when he hit the ground, but Cain finished him off. Herb Dean didn't get in there maybe quick enough, but either way, don't matter. I think it's one of those ones where Cain knocked him out and knocked him back into consciousness, but big win for Cain Velasquez. Unless what am I gonna say? Unless the winner of Carwin Mir gets hurt, he'll have to sit on the shelf. I don't think he's gonna get the next shot at Lesnar. Although I don't know who Lesnar was supposed to fight next. I forgot, but maybe Lesnar can fight Cain next. Cain didn't really take any damage in this fight, except for a cut on the nose. But either way, I want to see that fight eventually. Lesnar Cain. It should be some good stuff. Lesnar's probably got the size and strength advantage of wrestling, but I think Cain's got the more well-rounded game at this point. Last fight of the night they showed, undercard bout, Krzysztof Szczecinski against Stephan Bonnar. This was probably the most entertaining fight of the night. Mixing it up good. Bonnar, whenever he was being aggressive, he kept getting clipped with counters, getting hurt, getting cut. I'm surprised, I thought Bonnar would be better on the stand-up game, with the punches, but Krzysztof was getting the better of it here. Pretty entertaining fight. Unfortunately, there was, I think, a cut in the third on Bonnar real bad. I think it was caused by a headbutt, head clash. Fight had to be stopped, Bonnar, it looked like he was going to lose his fight by decision, though, in my opinion. Dana White said before the fight that Stephan Bonnar will always have a job in the UFC, same with Forrest Griffin and Vanderlei. So Bonner's not going to go anywhere even with the loss. I think he lost his fight. I didn't see the decision, but I imagine it's a loss. Either way, he was going to lose, but he's not going anywhere. And he'll probably just be a guy like a gatekeeper for young up-and-coming talent. Maybe like Phil Davis next or something. As for Szczecinski, looked pretty good, Throw him in there with, anyone. Stacked division, like I said once again. But pretty good night of fights. The crowd definitely helped it, The Australian crowd, they were really into it. The fans definitely made it a more lively atmosphere than usual. Really were appreciative. Didn't boo nearly as much, except for at times where, I can't blame them for booing some of the spot during the Jardine and Bader fight, But for the most part, they were pretty into it, So good night of fights. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. That's pretty much it, man. Great performance by Cain Velasquez. Good to see Vanderlei get back on his feet, and Soteropoulos looked good. Anyways, that's it for now. Till next time. Oh, be sure and check me out on Twitter, twitter.com/916Chris. Website, therewillbebloodfightshow.com, leaveitinthering.com. Links in the information bar as usual. For my boxing fans, tomorrow, special edition of Leave It in the Ring, 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 Eastern. Freddie Roach is the guest. Be sure and check that out. That's it for now. Till next time, I'm out.